Djika. I'm an Aromanian from North Macedonia. I'm 31 years old and I love being part of this community. So thank you for the invitation.
Thank you so much for being here. Okay, so the first section of questions is about languages specifically, and they're just super short answers. So whether it's just a sentence or something short. The first question is, which languages have you learned in your life and why?
Oh, well, I started with my mother tongue, which is the Aromanian, and from there I started building up with the languages. Of course, school was mandatory with English. I learned 4 years German, and then I understood that my interest is in the Romance languages. So I'm fluent in Spanish, Italian, French, Romanian, Serbo-Croatian, and of course Macedonian in first place.
Impressive. And how would you introduce yourself in Aromanian?
Very simple, mini escumaș hermana. Or in translation, I'm just an Aromanian.
And what happens in your brain when you switch languages?
I don't know, to be honest. It's something very interesting. I don't really understand how my brain works because it's usually related to the person that I see, and if I know that the person is coming from a nationality or a country that I speak the language, somehow automatically it switches to speak the language that the person has, the native language. So I can even be in a group of 5 people and we try to talk in English, let's say, but then if a question is directed to me and then only an answer to that person, somehow I switch immediately. The only, I think, difficulty that I have is when I speak with the Spanish and an Italian at the same time. The vocabulary is very similar, so over there the words can be mixed.
Okay, love it. What for you is the most beautiful word in Aromanian, and could you write it down for us? I'm going to give you this notepad anyway.
Of course.
It's
Hedipseari. Hedipseari is a word that describes a person that is looked after, has been. It's a mix of words in English into one word. So you can be cuddled, you can be hugged, you can be. It's many words in one. So it's like when they say you're a father's princess. It's something like that, but it's a feeling. It's not they don't spoil you, but rather they just give you all the love, the attention, everything in that moment, and it's a really nice feeling.
Okay, nice. And on the other side, what would you say is the ugliest word in Aromanian?
Ooh, I don't know. I never thought about that.
Everyone has struggled with this. Yeah.
Yes. We have a saying that uses cup gros, and it's used for people that don't want to understand something. So it's like they resist to understand something that is being said. Somehow, but I think it's more towards the characteristic that words carries with it rather than the word itself. But I don't really know what would be the ugliest word.
Okay. And is there a Aromanian word that you know that does not exist in any other languages?
No.
You're right. Do you know a tongue twister, or I don't know, a tongue twister or a riddle,
Yes, it's now wow to now tingerați.
What does it mean?
9 new eggs into 9 new kettles.
Okay, I want to know more.
It's just that egg, it's O. In plural, it will be wow. but then the word nine, it's now. So when you have it's nine now wow to now tingereați. It's just a repetitive one.
I love it. Could you write it down
Yes.
for us? Thank you. Okay, and do you, a bit more historical, do you remember a specific song or a poem or a story that a grandparent or somebody from an older like community member has taught you?
Yes, many of them, to be honest. The grandparents from my mother's side, my grandfather was an educated man. He was a director, and my grandma was, so, I'm sorry, a bit in history. Earlier in the days, the Aromanians were getting married at the age of 15 or 16, and that was almost always an arranged marriage where they know the groom from a good family and the bride from a good family, and they were sending them there. So my grandma got married at 15, and my grandpa was 15, my grandma was 16. So she did not finish high school and a university while my grandfather did. So mostly what she was doing was looking after the house and singing and telling us stories. And from my father's side, my grandma did the same. So there are a lot of songs from my childhood that are very old, traditional ones.
Okay, and what is the name of your favorite one?
Fata la fata, and it's Oh Girl, it's the translation.
Okay. And what do you think can be difficult, or what is the most difficult when learning Aromanian in your experience?
I think that the most difficult thing would be that you can't find a lot of educational literature online about it. It's mostly retelling stories or articles or small videos and songs that we do, but educational materials we are lacking. We do have it in a classroom, but then nothing was digitalized. So there are projects that are starting to do that, which I think it would help, but I think this is the biggest issue that we have.
Okay. Okay, and we already had a tongue twister. Do you have a favorite saying?
A favorite saying. Well, I love that one. Armanul sa pleacă, ma nu sfrânzi. The Aromanian can bend, but it will never break. It has the history behind it. We are one of the most integrated people in the countries where we live, and we still have the language alive, and we have social media, we have newspapers, books, literature, everything that we need to keep it there. So it's just an example how a society can prosper and just keep the traditions and the culture.
Where are you from? What was it like to grow up in your community? And how would you explain it to somebody who has not experienced it themselves?
For me, it was magical, and I still believe that we are somewhat special. It's very nice to go in a new place, somewhere far, far away from home, and there will be always someone that is an Aromanian, and they will just receive you like you are family, and they know you for their whole life. Growing up, we had these programs where they would gather the children, and we were growing up with other Aromanians, and we had summers, vacations, classes, theatrical shows and stuff like that, which made it a very nice connection with the community itself. You are not the only one, because it can happen. It's a specific nationality. You don't have classes in the school, you don't have your own country, but you consider every other country as your own, right? So when you realize you are not alone and you are part of something very big, it's a really nice feeling. It's a warm feeling that is being just risen from inside.
it's like radiating
Yes,
outwards. Huh?
indeed.
And your birth town is Skopje?
My birth town is Skopje, yes.
And do you have a favorite place? What is your favorite Aromanian speaking place?
Here, I think here it's in Macedonia, in North Macedonia, we have the cleanest Aromanian because we still have the right to study it in school, and then we hear it a lot on TV and radio, and we did not have these restrictions since the 90s to use the language, to speak at home, to speak it on the streets, and so on and so on. So it's did not adapt that much with neologisms, so we did not get a lot of the Slavic words or the Macedonian words in the language itself. So it's really a clean language.
Mm-hmm. And do you have a favorite meal or food recipe, something you like to cook?
Yes, a couple of them. My grandma was just she's still doing it. We have pitas. Pitas are a type of a cake, but they can be salted. So in our cultures, the cakes are mainly salted, so they're salty. And she makes this pita kulau, which is a pie with eggs, and she makes every layer. So she spreads it on a big table, and then she lets it dry, and then put it one on top of the other, and we use like 15 eggs in the pita along with yogurt and cheese, and it's just yellow and it's so nice. But that's one of them, and then the other one, which is only recognizable with us, it's called salaria. It's not with that many eggs, but it's with cheese. So we do eat a lot of cheese and yogurt and milk. So these were the ingredients. And then the other one that is specific, it's done for Christmas, but our Christmas on 13th of January, so the old calendar, where we put a coin in it to find the luck for the next year, and it's called placenta.
Yes, we've heard of this. Okay, and what is your job? What are you doing for a living?
I am a sort of a project manager. At the title, exactly, it's a service delivery manager in an international environment, which gives me even a better feeling about myself because I can connect with people from different countries on a different level.
Okay. And what is your definition of success?
If you can sleep at night with what you do during the day, that's success. If you're happy with how your day went, then you're a successful person.
And do you have like a specific career highlight that was like an important moment for you?
No. I think a job is a job. And then everything else, for me, important is family, it's culture, it's tradition, it's friends, it's relationships. Then everyone has to work. So I'm happy with my job. I was happy before I had this. I was a Spanish teacher. That's a different kind of a challenge. But it is a job. So it has its good moments and bad moments, and it can be stressful, it can be happy. But what stays in your life would be the memories that you live and the people that stay in it.
Absolutely. And if you could turn back the clocks and go back in time, is there anything that you would do differently?
No. I think I've experienced everything that I wanted to experience. I'm quite a stubborn person. So while in university, I found myself a tutoring job in Spain. So I left for 3 months and lived there. So I saw how it's living in Spain. Then 2 years in a row, I went twice in the US, and I came back. and after I gathered all my experiences that I thought I'd seen and I've experienced quite enough, I think that I have a great life here that I would not change it for anything. So no regrets so far.
Amazing. That's really nice to hear. And in terms of community, so how would you say in terms of like how the art or artistic community and the Aromanian community, like both or together, how have they played a role in your life so far?
I don't think it was the community itself separately. I think my parents had a huge role in it. My mother is a journalist and in the redaction of the Aromanian language here in Skopje. My father was working there since the first beginning. The first words in Aromanian in the ether were taught by my father. And both of them, they have this artistic spirit in them. So he writes, he composes songs, he writes stories. My mother was part of the cultural program in the radio, she still is. So everything that they were bringing at home was just a plus. When I met a friend of my father's in the US while I was there, he said, I haven't seen a family like that. You enter their house and you hear everywhere a songs, a music. They're singing, they're laughing through the songs. They use the synonyms or sayings in Aromanian that were used in stories or songs and so on. So I think that this is how the love towards music started. And then in 93, 96, 98, we had a festival here in Skopje. And my father and a friend of his did the festivals, which contained around 20 songs. And while they were writing the texts, the lyrics, and composing the music, they were in my house. So we were literally listening to those songs at any moment. They are still being live songs till this day. So it started from there. And then as soon as I grew up enough, I just started singing for the community since, I don't know, a very, very young age. I have a tape on TV where the mic is higher than me.
Okay, it was very inevitable. Like there's no escape for you, was there?
Yes,
like,
exactly.
This is what's happening. This is your path.
True.
So the next part is about art, more like creative things. And the first question is, and if you can also write them down, their names, 3 of your artistic heroes or role models.
Well, Frida Kahlo would be one of them. And then I love Dali's work. And then there is Antonio Machado with his poetry, which there are different types of art. So Frida Kahlo and then Dali, and then Antonio Machado was writing poetry, and it's one of the deepest poetries that I've read. You can interpret it in so many different ways. Same like Rumi's. If you read it over and over every time, depending on your state, you will just read it differently and with a different meaning.
Okay. And do you have like a memory where you remember really specifically falling in love with like music or art in some way? Like what was the moment where you can really remember it?
No. No, I feel like it was part of me since forever. I don't have a specific moment.
It was the inevitable path.
Yes, I think it was an inevitable part, yes.
Okay, and what is one of your proudest artistic achievements?
The song on the festival Fontana di Malmo, or Golden Fountain in Skopje in 2012. I was voted by the public to get a second place.
That's amazing. What year was that?
2012.
Okay. I love this question. What would you consider the essential, Elena, if somebody could only see, listen to, or experience 5 of your pieces or artworks? Like, do you have a kind of, I don't know, oeuvre of like favorite things that you've done, or maybe that you're most proud of?
There are hobbies that I do that I think that describe me the best. So I'm dancing Argentinian tango since 2016, and the expression that you can have on that kind of a music is completely different from today's world, especially because the rules that you are following there are still somewhere back in time in Argentina, like gentlemen's and ladies and dress codes and codes in the ronda and stuff like that. And all the expression that you have to do and to show it's in such a small space, but then if you are looking at it from a side, it looks like 2 ballerinas dancing, and they're just regular people. And then the second one that I do is hiking, which if somebody didn't try so far, they should, because the piece that you will find above 2,000 meters above sea level, it's making you realize that everything else is irrelevant. Really, we're just a small piece of a huge puzzle. So being up there, camping, and just watching at the stars, where in the big cities all the lights are just throwing a shadow on everything, it's showing you a different life. So the 3 hobbies of singing, dancing, and hiking, I think this is the essential me, because it's something that you can't talk about it and understand it. You have to be part of it, to live it together, so you can see the naked truth of Elena.
And do you think you're like an adventurer?
Yes, yes. I think that I'm challenging life just to see whether us people we have 9 lives like the cats. But yes, while in the US, I jumped out of a plane. I did skydiving. That was one of the most extreme things that I did.
Okay, well,
yeah.
That's so cool. Do you, is there like a certain inspiration you can think of? I mean, I know you said like it's in your family, but is there anything specific that you can remember that has been an inspiration for you to create a specific piece of music?
I think that after a certain age, I started enjoying a lot the blues. So unfortunately, we don't have blues music in Aromanian. So when I'm trying and singing at home, somehow I try and change the music. I think that the blues shows a lot of emotions. It's one of those types of music where you can see that someone pouring the heart out of, I don't know, a forbidden love or unexperienced things or forgotten memories and so on. So it's really nice.
And do you have a way to describe your particular artistic style?
I don't have an artistic style. I adapt to everything, and then it's music. Of course, I do like some things more than others, genres. Music that I will put at home and just listen to it, and then some of it where it will be required from some of my groups that they are into it. But I don't have, with the exception of I think that the experimental jazz that is starting to come up in the society now. The rest I really don't have a specific artistic type. I don't.
Okay, in that case, do you have like a vision, or where do you think you can see your musical artistic career path going in the next decade?
Nowhere.
Or where would you like it to be going, maybe, is a better question.
I don't have an artistic career. This is just a piece of my soul living it here for only a limited group of people. So I don't have an artistic career that I would see going somewhere. It's just I want to share and maybe leave something behind me from the songs and the stories and the culture that I was growing up with somewhere, especially now with all the cameras on Facebook and Instagram and so on and so on. But it's I don't ever want to feel this thing as work.
I get that. That's like as soon as you start being paid for it to make your living, it loses the joy.
It
very
loses
quickly.
the enchantment. It's just you will think how much this costs or how much that costs, and I will need this much time, and I will need to be like this or dressed, or maybe an attitude change or something which I'm not. As I said, we all have a day job and then the rest.
I agree. Is there anything coming up in the next few months that you are excited about?
Yes, I've been invited to a conference for the Aromanians in Austria in October, which there will be a lot of people with a lot of knowledge that I'm so eager to hear about things that I have not heard, and maybe put an idea there that something can be done in the upcoming period.
Yes, we've heard about this conference. Absolutely. Okay, exciting. And one more question on this art section. How do you think language and art are connected?
They are the same thing. It's art. It's how a person can express himself. It depends on how rich he is. When I say rich, I mean vocabulary rich. So the many words that you know, or as many languages as you know, you can be more creative. Even when it comes to the modern times, every language suffers a transformation, or suffers, but it's we will live these changes. So the new words that are coming up, well, regardless of what the reason is, whether you want to make a distinction from other language or you want to make it sound more like that language, it will be a combination from other 2 or 3 or 5 languages in any case. So language is art. It's just depending on how much one wants to be creative with it.
So the last part of the interview, section D, is more about society and community, and you can have the answers as long or as short as you like, just go with the flow. The first question is, what do people stereotypically associate with Aromanian or Aromanians, and how much of that do you believe is true?
Different country, different stereotypes. Over here, I think that we are most known for the tattooed women. I don't know if you've heard. During the Ottoman Empire, the word on the street is that the Aromanians were the only nation that was not Muslimanized at that time. Why? Because the men were usually consuls to the pashas or sultans and so on, and the women were not taken because at birth they were tattooed with crosses on their forehead or the hands. So this is the story, and I think it's true. My grandma had a cross on her forehead. It's true. The second story that I've heard is that this is not here, though it's in Romania. It's the Aromanians only marry between Aromanians. And it's 50-50 back in the day, so like 50 years ago maybe. This was completely true. I mean, I couldn't even understand that, how they were doing it. It's not a secret. But nowadays, especially with the younger generation, it's really not like that. I mean, we do meet with Aromanians and we do have the communication. If it happens, it happens, but it's not like it was before. So that thing I don't, it's 50-50. And then the third one, that in Macedonia, which I have no idea why, but it's all the Aromanians have a function in the countries where they live. We do have a lot of educated people and academics and, I don't know, prime ministers and something somewhere, directors of banks, of whatsoever, but it's not all of them are. It's like in every other nation, you have people that are working on the lands and you have people that are academics, and it's how it goes, but it's just a very ridiculous, stereotypical type here that it's always set.
Okay. And what do you wish that people would be more aware of when it comes to Aromanian as a language and Aromanian community?
Well, throughout my life, I would like to say that I would like to be heard that the Aromanians are Orthodox Christians, because none of the people that I've been in touch with, they didn't know what Aromanians are, knew what our religion is, regardless of the fact that we lived with them since forever. So we share the holidays, we share the churches, we share everything. So that's one thing. Second thing is, if you don't recognize the language, that doesn't mean it's the only language that you know but you don't speak. It's a specific one. It has words from many other languages. Mostly it has very old Latin words that were just a bit adapted. And then the third one is that the Aromanians are just here to cohabit with anyone else. We are not here to take someone else's something. We just want to live our life the way we have it at home. We are not going to conquer another country or another language or another. It's just we are a peaceful population that is and will be a very strong part of the integration in a country.
And in terms of like going back to the artistic scene, I mean, not just in Skopje, but is there a specific like thing or initiative or movement happening right now, like in the Aromanian arts and culture scene, that is exciting to you, or that is, what should people know about if they don't know?
I think that in Greece there are these festivals that are done that are related with some big holidays, religious holidays, which if you're not literal in Greek writing or speaking, you will not understand a post on Facebook, which you have to have someone tell you that there is this festival, and it's a very nice festival because they take out the traditional clothes that they have and they fill the streets with the people that were living there. And then the traditional music is there, which in Greece the three instruments that were basic for us are still used, and the characteristical vocal that they do during singing, it's something that is very nice there. If you want to see a lot of Aromanians gathering, you have to visit Bucharest or Constanța, because the Aromanians evenings there are just like a wedding without a bride and a groom that are 1,000 people in a room, which is huge. But then again, it's a full night of Aromanian songs and people that know each other and dances and laughter and everything. And then the events that they do, like Primăvara Armanilor, which is Aromanian spring, or the days of the literature, or the 23rd of May, regardless of the fact that in Romania they don't want to recognize it as a date per se, but everything is huge. How they keep the culture there, without having the rights that we have here, it's impressive. It's impressive. And then in Macedonia, there are a couple of places that I would always go. In Molovište, there was a poetry festival that is done in August. Molovište is Aromanian village very close to Bitola. It has a very big church where they were gathering in the yard, so that's something very nice. And then, to be honest, I love being part of the band Bona Dea, which gives me the opportunity to re-sing or to redo some of the songs that are not so popular, but they were done back in the 90s. And then the girls that are in the band and Alexandra just have great energy and we blend, so I love it.
How long have you been making music together as a band, as Bona Dea?
They are. I was an addition. Yes, yes, exactly. They are, I think, since 12, 15, after the festival, they gathered, the initial composition of the band gathered, so Maria, Alexandra, and then there was a guy named Dara. And then there were some restructures there, but Maria and Alexandra stayed, and then we had Martina and Alexander, and then I come in when there is an Aromanian evening or need for singing, but they do sing. They sound amazing. They sing for evenings at the embassies, in rock bar. It's there. If you have a chance to hear them somewhere, they are great.
All right, looking forward to it. Okay, apart from your own band and your own music, what other artists are there that you think need more of a spotlight? Who should people know about in the musical world?
Generally in the musical world or in our community?
In your community firstly, and then in the wider world. Priorities.
In my community there are people that have really nice voices and they sang a couple of years ago, and then this festival stopped, so we actually don't have new songs anymore. And those people somehow stayed there. So I remember during the quarantine of COVID, there was like a challenge, a musical challenge. So someone will tag you, you have to sing a song, and then you tag the next person. And then I tagged the person that sang last 2008 on the Aromanian festival. And she was surprised and happy, and she actually did the duet with me. I haven't seen her on these events since then, and there are many like that, like her. And then generally, I don't know, I think it's a very personal choice. So it depends on what kind of music do you like to listen to at that moment. So I can't just take an example. Sorry.
Do you have like a favorite mainstream artist? Like what do you listen to on the radio? Like just out of interest.
I don't listen to the radio, I do Spotify, and then when I do Spotify it's Tennessee Whiskey and a playlist of it, or Your Man, and then country music just going down, and then I don't know, Nick Cave, for example, it's very nice. Then growing up I was listening to metal music, so here and there's still a bit of that. As I said, I really don't have an artistic preference. It's every music has a different charm.
Yeah, it's all important, and it all builds like all of the elements of like you now, you know, like this is the stuff that we like absorb as a kid.
You get up, you are grumpy, then you are happy, then you are angry, then you are sleepy, and then there is different music for each type of mood.
That's what it's there for. Okay, what do you think are the biggest challenges that Aromanians are facing right now?
I think that losing ourselves is the biggest challenge, or keeping ourselves. We are, all of us, not just the Aromanians, but we are so obsessed about learning the English language since 5 years old, watching cartoons, that we can see even with the children here in Macedonia, for Macedonian families, they speak better English than Macedonian, which is becoming a problem. So the challenge is how we can nurture our values at home, because the society is made in a way where we work until 6 p.m. and children are in school, and then they have activities, basketball, tennis, languages, math, science, everything, and then you see the child at home at evening, which is quite different from what was when we were growing up. My parents were at home 3:30, 4 max. They were picking us up from school and they had the day with us. They can play with us and they can teach us. Nowadays, we don't have that time. So when you have that time with the child at home for 2 or 3 hours, you want to give them the play. You do. But then on that account, we lose so many things. So unless we start thinking about how we can awake the interest in them about our stuff, or the stuff that we think they might want to know in near future, is what will help us, regardless whether they are apps, there are videos, there are synchronizations, there are children's books, there are classrooms, there are like camps that they can be sent to, just not that much related to technology and just staring at the screen. But this is the challenge. It's just finding stuff how to be interesting.
How to make it fun.
Yeah.
And appealing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so easy.
Do you have advice for, okay, let's make it specific. Do you have specific advice for other Aromanians wanting to become more active in the arts or in activism?
Yeah. Don't be afraid to make the first step. Everyone makes mistakes, and nothing is perfect. So unless you are making mistakes, you will never learn and you will never do it. So just get up and start. It's all it matters.
And do you have maybe one little life lesson that you would also share on from your journey?
Yes. It's opening up too much. It can just confuse you of what you want to do. So before you open up, think twice what you want to say or do.
That's a good one. I'm taking this from myself as well. Okay, 2 more questions. Do you have future, I don't know, maybe like utopian vision for your community? Is there an ideal picture you have for in 20 years' time? What would be your dream?
I think we should not distinct ourselves by the countries. If you ask me, I'm a citizen of the world. And then every citizen can speak in their own language. I mean, for God's sakes, back in the days, they were paying with sheep and cows and cheese and so on, and they still lived a very peaceful life unless they were there to take the land, right? So unless there is something that you are really interested in to grab, the utopia is here. It's just that we need to see it. We need to spread it starting from us. So if I don't need anything from you, then we will just be in the same space talking about the stuff. My grandma is always saying, you never don't you ever want to have something that you don't have and someone else has it? Or just don't stretch more than what the carpet is, you know, the small carpets. So you live with what you have, what you make, what you think is good for you, not what the others have and is good for them, because it's not the same for everyone. Everyone has its own path, and this is how it should be.
Okay, and for the people watching this video recording, is there one final sentence that you would like to say in your own language, in any language that you like, just to leave and to end the video on?
Sure. Someone there will always hear you. It doesn't have to be directed to the person that you want to say it. If it's in place, it will be actioned and it will flourish. Just say it out loud.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.